GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
Today, more than 1,000 paramedics employed by the Public Ambulance Service Urgences, Santé reached a tentative collective contract agreement with the Quebec provincial government. The deal ends a multi-year period during which the workforce operated without a formal agreement, a situation that had driven protracted negotiations. The agreement covers paramedics working in both Montreal and Laval, the two main service areas of Urgences Santé. Under the proposed terms, wages, shift work provisions, and safety standards will be updated, although final approval still requires ratification by the paramedics union and government sign-off. Officials from Urgences Santé said the agreement reflects a compromise on both sides after extensive dialogue. The provincial government emphasized its commitment to maintaining uninterrupted emergency services while addressing long-standing labor concerns. If the contract is ratified, it will restore a binding framework for the province's emergency responders and set a precedent for future public sector negotiations.
Ferté Montreal announced today that tighter security will be deployed throughout this weekend's Pride celebrations after the terrorist attack in Berlin. Organizers said police officers will be stationed at all main venues, including the parade route along St. Catherine Street and the evening concert at Place des Arts. Bag inspections, metal detector screenings, and additional volunteer marshals will be in place to monitor crowds. The city's SBVM has been briefed and will work closely with event staff to respond swiftly to any threat. Festival leaders emphasize that the heightened measures are meant to reassure participants while preserving the inclusive spirit of the event. Community groups, including local LGBTQ centers, have been consulted to ensure the protocols respect the festival's values. They urged attendees to stay alert and follow instructions, noting that safety remains the top priority as the city welcomes thousands of visitors for the Pride weekend.
The Montreal SPCA has launched a citywide appeal to overturn rental clauses that bar tenants from having pets. Officials say the prohibition fuels a rise in abandoned animals, a trend that spikes each Canada Day when dozens of households relocate, leaving behind clutter and unwanted pets that end up at the shelter. The organization urges both municipal authorities and private landlords to eliminate these bans, arguing that allowing responsible pet ownership would reduce the influx of strays that now strains shelter capacity. SPCA representatives stress that the current policy creates a cycle of surrender and abandonment, especially as moving season intensifies. The call for legislative change remains ongoing, with the group planning meetings with city officials and housing associations in the weeks ahead. Animal welfare advocates note that each abandoned pet often becomes a stray, adding pressure to already crowded facilities.
Montreal police say a high-speed pursuit on July 26 ended with 3 suspects taken into custody, while a 4th remains at large. Officers launched the chase after receiving a robbery report in downtown Montreal, and the pursuit moved through several neighborhoods before the suspects abandoned their vehicle near Rue St. Laurent. Police arrested 2 men at the scene, and a 3rd was detained at a nearby precinct later that evening. The 3 individuals are being held at a local detention center as investigators continue to gather evidence. The search for the remaining suspect continues, with officers canvassing the area and reviewing surveillance footage. Authorities have not released further details about the motive or the identities of those arrested. The investigation remains active, and detectives are working to locate the fugitive. The police department confirmed that the operation is ongoing as of this broadcast.
Today, the 20th edition of the Haiti and Foley Festival kicks off at Parc La Fontaine in the Plateau Montreal neighborhood. Dubbed Lac Si Lac, the celebration runs through the weekend with a slate of hands-on activities designed to highlight Haitian heritage. Visitors can sample traditional dishes in culinary workshops, join open-air percussion circles, and enroll in short Creole language classes. Artists will lead painting sessions while local storytellers share folklore from the island. Organizers say the event aims to honor and promote Haitian culture within the city's vibrant multicultural fabric. Admission is free, and families are encouraged to explore the programming across the park's green spaces. Local schools and community groups are also participating, offering youth performances that add a fresh perspective to the festivities. The festival marks 2 decades of annual gatherings that have become a staple of summer life on the island.
We'll hear from Finance Minister Mark Carney about his call for August 31st by elections in BC, Ontario, and Quebec. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for staying with us. Let's jump straight into today's headlines, then Rachel will take us to the local stories.
Finance Minister Mark Carney announced that federal by-elections will be held on August 31st to fill 3 vacant seats in the House of Commons. The contest will take place in British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec, each responding to a different vacancy. One MP resigned, another accepted an ambassadorial posting, and a third moved to the Senate. Voters in the affected Quebec riding will soon head to the polls, a process that can shift the balance of representation for their communities. By-elections are the mechanism Canada uses whenever a seat becomes empty, giving constituents a chance to elect a new representative before the next general election. The outcomes could influence how federal resources are allocated and how local concerns are voiced in Ottawa. For Montrealers whose federal riding falls within the province, the vote offers a direct voice on issues ranging from transportation funding to health care programming.
An 18-year-old man was stabbed this morning in downtown and rushed to hospital, authorities said. Police confirmed the victim suffered a single wound and is receiving treatment, though his condition remains undisclosed. The incident marks the 3rd armed assault reported in the downtown core within the past 24 hours, adding to growing concerns about safety in the area. The assault occurred near the commercial boulevard close to the metro station. Officers responded quickly, securing the scene and beginning an investigation that includes reviewing nearby surveillance footage. No arrests have been announced, and detectives are still gathering witness statements. The hospital indicated the teenager is stable after surgery, but officials declined further medical details. City officials have not yet commented on the pattern, and the police chief said resources are being allocated. Police will continue to patrol the neighborhood this evening.
After sending more than 400 applications to employers across the island, an asylum seeker finally landed a role he says fits his skills in a regional part of Quebec. He spent weeks chasing replies that never arrived, and the silence grew discouraging. By shifting his focus beyond the city's tight labor market, he connected with a company in the surrounding area and accepted a position that offers both stability and satisfaction. The story underscores how the competitive job scene in the metropolis pushes newcomers to look farther afield for work. He told friends that the new job not only provides income but also a sense of belonging, something he struggled to find while waiting for responses in Montreal. He hopes his experience encourages others facing similar hurdles to keep persisting.
CF Montreal fell to Inter Miami on Saturday night at Saputo Stadium after a decisive strike in the final 10 minutes. The home side, locked in a stalemate for most of the 90 minutes, saw the visitors break the deadlock with just minutes left, leaving the crowd stunned. The match, part of the MLS regular season, ended with a 1-goal margin, marking a setback for the host club as they look to bounce back in upcoming fixtures. The atmosphere stayed electric as lights shone over the field and supporters sang throughout, but the late goal turned a tense draw into a loss for the home side. Fans packed in the stadium witnessed the tension rise as the clock wound down, and the final whistle confirmed Inter Miami's win. Supporters left the venue with the disappointment of a narrow defeat.
Authorities responded to a violent incident on de Bleury Street near Concord Street in the heart of the downtown core today. Police reports confirm a young woman sustained serious gunshot injuries after an armed assault on the bustling city thoroughfare. Emergency crews arrived within minutes, establishing a perimeter and transporting the victim to a nearby hospital for critical care. Witnesses described hearing multiple gunshots and seeing the suspect flee the scene, prompting a citywide search that remains active. The area, normally filled with office workers and shoppers, was temporarily closed while investigators processed the scene and collected evidence. Police have not released a description of the shooter and are urging anyone with additional information to come forward. This incident adds to recent concerns about public safety in the central business district.
And now, let's turn to our weather team for a quick look at tonight's conditions.
A stagnant ridge and a gentle northern keep tonight's skies dry, while temperatures linger near summer's peak. On this date, the all-time high for Montreal was 32.5 degrees, recorded in 2020 during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the city into the upper 30s for several days. The coldest reading was 12.6 degrees, set in 2013 when a polar vortex dip sent Arctic air southward, snapping temperatures well below normal. By contrast, today's climatological average high sits around 29 degrees and the average low near 18, placing tonight's 24-degree reading comfortably between the extremes. Zooming into the live radar, the screen is completely clear, no echoes across the province, no trailing bands from the Great Lakes. The lack of precipitation reflects a high-pressure dome that has settled over southern Quebec, suppressing lift. With the northern jet brushing the region at only 43 kilometers per hour, any moisture remains stranded aloft, ensuring the next few hours stay dry as we transition toward morning. At 11 tonight, the city sits under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 24 degrees and a humidity of 51%. The gentle southerly breeze at 13 kilometers per hour keeps the air feeling comfortable, while a near-average pressure system remains steady, neither rising nor falling, allowing the current pattern to persist. Overhead, a modest northern jet streak moves at 43 kilometers per hour, capping the lower atmosphere and preventing any significant ascent of moist air. With the ridge anchored over the province, tonight's low will dip to 19 degrees before sunrise, then climb steadily as sunshine returns. The ultraviolet level will sit at 6, and with winds staying below 25 kilometers per hour, conditions remain calm. No weather alerts are in force, so the day proceeds unimpeded. Looking ahead, Monday will stay warm with a high near 30 degrees and a low of 19, but thick cloud cover will dominate, keeping sunshine at bay. Tuesday brings another 30-degree peak, yet the overcast layer will thicken and a 65% chance of rain will arrive as a cold front nudges the jet eastward, sharpening the pressure gradient. Wednesday's temperatures dip to 23, and the same system will deliver light rain with a 70% probability, marking the wettest stretch of the week. Thursday sees a gradual warming to 21, clouds lingering and a modest 35% rain risk as the front stalls. Finally, Friday clears dramatically, offering a bright sky, a high of 26 and a low of 17, a pleasant finish before the next system approaches. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic picking up on the downtown core will preview today's events and catch the latest on the NSL season. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
Local soccer takes a hit, and hockey's return is circled on the calendar. A tough result for the Montreal Roses at home Thursday. AFC Toronto left with a 2-0 victory, powered by second-half goals from Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter. Goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo turned aside 2 shots to seal it, lifting AFC Toronto into sole possession of third place in the Northern Super League standings. Mark September 29th on your calendars, Canadiens fans. The 2026-27 NHL season opens with an all-Canadian showdown as Montreal visits the Toronto Maple Leafs on opening night. The Edmonton Oilers hosting the Vancouver Canucks rounds out what should be a compelling first night of hockey. A long chapter in Montreal Canadiens history has closed. The Habs dealt veteran forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations. CBC Sports reported the transaction, which sends one of the franchise's most recognizable names out of Montreal.
On the bustling main floor of the Best Buy on the Rive Sud, a familiar face greets shoppers with a steady smile. 70-year-old Mitchell Tremblay, a lifelong resident of the South Shore, has swapped his morning coffee at the local bakery for a navy blue apron and a handheld scanner. He slipped back into the workforce last month, not because he needed a paycheck alone, but because the rhythm of a busy aisle keeps his mind sharp and his heart steady as living costs climb. The store's manager, Claire Bouchard, recalls the first day he walked in, his hands still steady from years of gardening. He's taken to arranging the latest headphones with the same care he once gave a vegetable garden, offering customers patient advice that feels more like a friendly chat than a sales pitch. When a teenage customer thanked him for helping find the perfect pair of earbuds, Mitchell's eyes lit up, and he whispered, "It's good to be useful again." That simple moment turned a routine shift into a celebration of community and purpose. It's a reminder that purpose knows no age.
On a crisp Saturday afternoon in the Plateau, a modest community center in Montreal filled with families, coaches, and a handful of local gymnasts gathered around a television screen to watch the Commonwealth Games final. At the center of the excitement was Félix Dalsay, the 20-year-old from Laval whose routine had become the talk of the nation. As the camera panned across his flawless floor exercise, the faint scent of fresh pine from the gym's newly installed mats seemed to drift through the room, and a collective breath was held when he launched into his signature double back. When the scoreboard flashed silver, a ripple of applause rose from the crowd, punctuated by the quiet pride of his mother who had traveled from the suburbs just to see him compete. The moment was more than a medal, it was a reminder that the dedication honed in modest local gyms can echo on the world stage. In the weeks that followed, the community center's walls were adorned with a replica of his medal, a tangible symbol of what perseverance can achieve. It's moments like these that remind us why we cheer together.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the wrap. Tonight's reminder that perseverance pays off. An asylum seeker secured a dream job after 400 applications. Shows the spirit of our city. We appreciate your viewership and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. See you then.